Good Tevach, everybody. So I'll tell you Maisa. There was the Baal HaTanya, the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, so he was a chassid, he was a Talmud of Maggid. So the Maisa goes, it was during Sukkot one year, Chalamite Sukkot, and the Baal HaTanya found himself traveling for a particular issue. He was traveling to a location, to a certain town, and on his way he happened to stop off in a certain shtetl. And in those days it wasn't like his face was so well known as it would be today. So he goes to this particular shtetl. No one knows who he is. He's just another yid that's visiting the town. So he goes to shul like everyone else, and it happens to be it's a Friday. It's close to Shabbos on Sukkot, and he goes to shul. Finished. He doesn't really know where he's going to stay, but the minhag in those days was that any guest of a city, poor people and so on, they would just go to shul, and they would have a specific corner that maybe they would stay with, and after davening, anyone that had places to accommodate them would go and invite them for a meal and so on. So that's what the Baal HaTanya did. He sits there, and one person in the shul goes over to him after davening and says, Rabbi, do you need a place to stay? He said, thank you so much. I would love it. So please, okay. So he brings the Baal HaTanya home, and they immediately go out to the sukkah. And right away, this person who's a regular yid, it can tell that his guest is not a simple person. There's something special about this person, the way he was davening, the way he was just holding himself, something unique. It was the Baal HaTanya. But then something even stranger takes place. All of a sudden, they're in the sukkah, and all of a sudden they hear thunder, like very, very strong thunder. All of a sudden, crashes of lightning. The whole night sky lights up with the lightning, and in a moment or two, they hear the sound of like a torrential downpour. Okay, so usually it rains on Sukkot. Okay, you go inside, but the pella is that despite the fact there was thunder and lightning and raining, there was no rain coming in the sukkah. The sukkah was absolutely dry. And so the Baal HaTanya was not surprised by this, but the guest was mamash shocked by this. The guest walks outside, and a second outside the sukkah, he's soaking wet from the rain. He goes in the sukkah, it's absolutely dry. It's mamash shamayfis. So he knows that it's obviously not because of me, it must be because of my chash of the guest. So what does he want to do? So in our days, you would take like a selfie or something and post it somewhere, but in those days, he didn't do that. So what did he do? He decides, I'm going to go tell the Rav. I'm going to run to the Rav's house, his sukkah. I'm going to tell him what type of thing I have going over here. If he wants to eat in a sukkah, you should come to my sukkah. So that's what happens. So he immediately puts on his raincoat, runs to the Rav's house, whoever the Rav was of the town, and he tells the Rav what's going on, that he has this guest, obviously like a tzaddik nister or something, and it's not raining in a sukkah. And the Rav says, come on, Yaakov, you kidding? It's not raining in your sukkah. What does that mean? So he said, I'm telling you, it's not raining in my sukkah. You have to see this for yourself. So the Rav says, fine, if you're telling me, you didn't lose your mind. So he puts on his coat, the Rav, and he comes to visit Yankel's sukkah, and he taka sees it's not raining in the sukkah. Now the Rav has a little bit better eyes, and he's able to tell that this yid is taka, a special yid, a Talmud Chacham, this is Baal HaTanya. So Yankel moves to the side, lets the Rav and the Baal HaTanya just schmooze for a little bit, and the Rav is talking, learning, Baal HaTanya talking, learning. The Rav is mamish, like losing his mind with excitement that it's such an opportunity to have a tzaddik like this, a Talmud Chacham, an Adam Gadol Ad Ma'id, in his presence. And so in the middle of the conversation, the Rav asks the Baal HaTanya, he says, so what were you doing traveling? So he says, he describes what his mission was about, and he was sent on a mission from his Rebbe to take care of something in a certain town. So the Rav is shocked. You have a Rebbe? You could be the Rebbe of all of us. You have a Rebbe? He says, of course I have a Rebbe. Who's your Rebbe? Maggid. So he says, let me ask you something. With all due respect, you know Kol Torah Kula. You're obviously a big tzaddik. It's not raining in the sukkah right now. Well, what could you possibly be learning from the Maggid that you don't already know? So Maggid, so the Baal HaTanya doesn't answer. He just doesn't answer. He moves on to the next conversation. Then they're schmoozing a little bit more, and the Rav mentions that just in passing, that he mentions that the Rav says that he has a daughter of marriageable age, and he's looking for a shidduch for his daughter. So punkt at that moment, the Baal HaTanya notices a Jew passing by outside the sukkah. Looks like a regular from Jew. And the Baal HaTanya just says, no, what about that yid? So does he have a son? And so the Rav looks at him, with a funny look on his face, he says, "Okay, Taka, Ruach HaKodesh as well. He does have a son, but it's not really shidduch." So the Baal HaTanya says, "Why not? You have a daughter. He has a son. Why not?" So he says, "It's not a shidduch. Why not? Okay, well, if you must know, I'm the Rav, and he's a bagel salesman. He has a push cart and he walks around every day selling bagels to the townspeople. And it's not a shidduch. A Rav's daughter with a bagel salesman's son. It's pasnish. It's not covered a Torah or whatever, you know." So the Baal HaTanya is taken aback by that. He says, "You asked me a few minutes ago, what do I learn by the Mitzvah Maggid? I can't tell you what I learned by Mitzvah Maggid. What I can tell you is this: what I learned by Mitzvah Maggid, I would never be able to say such words about another Jew. That all he is a bagel salesman. That's what he is. And it's pasnish to make a shidduch between me and him. What I learned by Mitzvah Maggid is what a yid is, and what a yid is, it's much bigger than a bagel salesman. That's for sure." So the Rav hears that, and the words penetrate, and from that moment on, he himself begins to travel to Mitzvah Maggid, becomes a chassid. Goes without saying, obviously, he makes a shidduch with that person, and they have happily ever after, as they say. But that's the avodah we have to remember to listen. That you look at a yid, he's a bagel salesman, he's a Rav, he's this, he's that. What the Baal Shem Tov brought to the world and what Pnimis HaTorah tells us is that a yid is much bigger than all of that. Those are titles, those are things that we do, but what a yid is, it's bigger and deeper than all of that. Hashem should bless us with those eyes, with that emunah in Kedushas Yisrael, and that emunah in what a yid, the amazing power, the infinite power of a yid. And with that, we should be zechet to have a licht de gevach, a mazel de gevach, a simcha de gevach, a gul de gevach, be be tzadikim here, amen.